Hello everyone and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph video. So I just want to focus in on the scene that I'm looking at here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if you're doing the CAE exam, the Cambridge exam, or perhaps some other exams like the B1 which involve looking at pictures, you have to know how to describe scenes like this. Now, if you listen to my podcasts, you regularly hear me walking around this estate and going to the supermarket, which is just next to me here. And you also can sometimes hear me at the coffee shop, So that particular coffee shop is the one which is behind me. So I'm just going to show you that just in a second. Here we are. You can see Tim Hortons coffee shop there. That's where I usually make my podcasts, and I'm always describing the skyline on different days. Okay, now if you are doing an exam and you do find yourself with a picture that looks like this, it's quite a difficult picture to describe because you have loads of cars around, you have a grey sky, you have some shops, you have a garage, you have an airport just beyond here, so you'll see some planes taking off and landing maybe. But if you're asked to describe this, it can be quite difficult because there's so many things. And the one thing that you should never do in an English exam is you should never just say what you see. So you can't say, there's cars. Yeah, there's a garage. Yeah, there's shops. And there's a church and a coffee shop. Never do that. Draw comparisons between those things. Tell a story about those things. But what you don't want to do is to really just begin saying what there is, because it's very dull, it's very boring, and it's not really showing them the best use of your English. So just to give you an example of what I mean, you could say something like, the picture is rather dark. There's a very dark sky which is reflecting, which is reflected on the pavement, and the colors of the cars appear to be dark as well. Compared to the left side of the picture where there's a shop, on the right side I can clearly see a coffee shop. So clearly there's people coming and going here. Perhaps after shopping they want to take a coffee. You see, in the distance I can see a gym, which is quite different from my city, because gyms are usually in shopping arcades, if that's the case in your city. Okay, so you want to really make a story and bring it together. All right, what you don't want to do is just to begin describing the things. There's a bus, there's a car, there's a shop. Okay, you need to pool some really good comparatives. Unlike shopping centers in my town, this one appears to be very open. The people are wearing heavy clothes, which would indicate there's rain. So I'm very pleased to say there is a coffee shop there, for example. Okay, the types of cars reflect old and new, so that might indicate that it's in a place which is maybe not affluent, but at least middle class. So you have to really work hard at describing these kind of things. In the B1 exam or the CAE exam, you're going to be given 2 or 3 photos, so you can compare them. Well, in this photo and in that photo, and usually they're not going to be quite as open as this. All right. You can see another coffee shop in the distance there, which is Starbucks. So you can even compare that. You can say, well, compared to Starbucks, I actually prefer the smaller coffee shops. They appear to be more homely. Although you don't want to get into the politics of why you think that, about why you dislike chains or things like that. Okay. In this photo, we can also see a big church, which is in direct contrast to these smaller buildings around me. I mean, this church must be at least 200 or 300 years old, which is in great contrast to the buildings that I'm standing at, which look like they're fabricated and maybe 10 years old, if nothing else. So you can hear there, I'm really pulling some comparatives. Also, compared to other people I'm seeing, the one walking towards me or the one walking towards the shop in this photo is wearing shorts, whereas other people are wearing heavy clothes. Now, that isn't the case in this photo, but that's the kind of thing. Also, right next to me here, there's a postal hub. And if you're old enough, you can make a comparative to how they compare to the post offices. You know, in the old days, we had post offices. Nowadays, we have these postal hubs everywhere where you can drop off and collect your parcels, which is a big change from the past and wouldn't suit my mother at all. So you can see how I'm really trying to get inside this picture that I'm showing you now, you know. And there we are. That's just a few examples of how you can describe something. So you have to be a little bit of an expert, you know, in doing that. So the sky is beautiful. There's loads of things to see there, loads of things to see in this picture. You can see all different types of cars moving up and down there. There's also a Japanese restaurant in the far distance. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's a Caribbean couple going into the supermarket there. So you can see this might be a multicultural area. Okay, plenty of comparatives you can pull in comparison with, in contrast to, like, unlike, just like. This action is mirrored in. These are definitely ways to get a better mark in any of the exams that you're doing, all right? And there we are. So just to finish, I'm just going to show you again some images here. So there's a blue sky, but it's also raining. There's a church comparing, or in contrast, I should say, against where I'm standing. You also have trucks compared to cars, buses compared to cars, two coffee shop chains which you could compare. So comparatives is the way I would go if I had to describe this. And that's it for me. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you are doing an exam this week, good luck with that. Oh, and there is someone wearing shorts on this very cold, wet and windy day. So yeah, maybe my description wasn't so bad after all when I think about it. There we are. Right, see you. Take care. Bye.